Welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the second part of Volume 70, Enter Doflamingo, which covers chapters 696 through 700. My name is Joel, and I'll be your host. Joining me today, we have Evan.
Hello there.
And we have Cody.
Let's enter Doflamingo with a nice entrance to the podcast.
We'll also be exiting Punk Hazard while we're at it. Yeah, so Punk Hazard has been quite the adventure. So we'll be getting our updated arc rankings and villain rankings at the end of the episode.
Sweet. Are we ranking villain or villains, plural?
Just villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, just the main villain of the arc.
Sweet.
But first, we'll get a little recap here for where we left off. Luffy defeated Caesar, smashing him outside the lab and causing him to land on the tanker outside. Law and Smoker defeated Virgo, leaving him in pieces in the sad room. While the Straw Hats, Law, the Navy, and the children made their escape on a large cart, General Frankie battled Doflamingo's subordinates, Buffalo and Baby Five. Frankie easily defeated them and noticed Caesar, though did not realize his importance to Law's plan. Caesar was unable to move, but as a last-ditch effort to take Smoker with him, he stabbed the heart that Law gave him. As Monet tried to self-destruct the lab, she fell to the ground and died. The heart Law had given him was not Smoker's, but Monet's. Buffalo and Baby Five attempted to retreat with Caesar, but the rest of the Straw Hats made it out in time to stop them. Nami and Usopp worked together to take them down and capture Caesar with sea prism cuffs. Doflamingo has left Dressrosa and is on his way to Punk Hazard, but so is another mysterious figure.
Dun, dun.
All right, so before we get into the next chapter itself, let's get the next part of the cover story, which is Caribou's New World Kihihi, Volume 18. On the road to the port, a voice calls out, "Captain Gobble!" Caribou comes across soldiers who mistake him for their captain.
Captain Gobble?
It reads better in Japanese.
You have insight into that, Cody?
Yeah, because so Caribou is Caribou and Gobble is Gaburu. Caribou, Gaburu, Caribou, Gaburu. So it's like a nice little, not quite an anagram, but it rhymes a little more.
Yeah, that's funny.
Or they just want the meat pie.
Yeah, so Evan, have you can you tell what's going on yet at this point, or is this just completely out of left field?
I haven't really quite figured it out. We're still on this metal planet where everything's made out of metal. Or not planet, island. No, I don't think I've pieced it together yet. I don't know where he got this jacket with the star on it. Did we get that information?
I believe I don't know if the old lady gave it to him or if he just took it. But I think that is also a clue. Okay, so he did leave the house with it, and the old lady pointed him towards the port.
Mm-hmm.
So she might have just given it to him. But the jacket might be also selling why they think he might be the captain.
That's true. He did take all the clothes from this old lady, so he is.
But they do
wearing
his face
someone
too.
else's outfit. Yeah, this is true.
All right, but let's just move on to the chapter. Chapter 696, Alignment of Interests. Smoker has agreed to take the children and will arrest the Brownbeard pirates, but will treat them for the poison so they will live. Chopper yells that Law's a murderer. Brook also confesses he's accidentally committed murder as well by breaking Kinemon's body, but it turns out this has freed Kinemon from the poison shell and he's alive. Momonosuke has turned back into a boy and is reunited with his father. Chopper confronts Law, who is treating the children. He had cut the children's bodies into pieces, but only to remove the drugs from their systems. They were put back to normal and are now cured. Nami leaves the care of the children to Tashigi, who will ensure that they are reunited safely to their families. Sanji cooks a big meal for everyone, allowing even the Navy to partake. G5 was able to convince Caesar to let them know about the cure for their affected members, so G5 will stay on the island to help them. Smoker wonders what Law has planned for Luffy, as the emperor they're planning to take down is Kaido.
Kaido, king of the beasts. The only emperor, or the emperor we have the least amount of information on.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting reveal because Luffy, he said as long as Shanks isn't first, which still insinuates that Shanks on the list.
Yeah.
Not completely off the list.
Mm.
But notably, he's also only holding up 3 fingers when he says all 4 emperors.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it's like,
Maybe
okay,
he's already counting 1 down.
Yeah, 1 down, 3 more to go.
Yeah.
That is an interesting point, though, is he does say as long as Shanks isn't first, so that does imply he wants to take him down at some point. But I think that is a necessary step for him to prove himself as the king of the pirates. He can't be like, oh, there are 2 emperors. That's not king. So he needs to prove himself as the very best.
It's like literally what he said.
It's always been there.
It's always been there. It's like in what he says to Shanks when he gets the hat. I'm gonna have a better ship than you. I'm gonna have a better crew than you. I'm gonna be a better pirate than you. So it's just, he's been saying it.
Yep. It's got to happen.
Yeah. So this also adds more complications, though, because we did say how it'd be convenient if it was Big Mom who was going to be their target. So now Luffy already has Big Mom after him. So now he's going to pick a fight with another emperor. So is Luffy biting more than he can chew?
It's kind of his MO.
Yeah. Does he ever stop?
Yeah. But the stakes are escalating for sure. You know, we're not talking about your local bad guy. These are emperors, king of the beasts.
Yeah, but Luffy has been laying low for the past 2 years, and now he's trying to make big moves. So he's kind of saying this has to be for something. Like, I can't have done all that work for nothing. So he's like, now it's time to assert myself in this world, and all the preparation was for this purpose. So he's ready to start working towards that goal. But let's jump back to the beginning of the chapter. So we do have good news that the Brownbeard pirates and the Navy that was affected by Caesar's gas it actually looks like it's not as fatal as we thought it was. So they actually can go back and save the people who are affected.
This is good. Although Land of Death is a pretty misleading name.
Well, he didn't say instant death. It's eventual death.
Eventual death.
Just give it like 70 years.
Land of slow, painful death. This is true.
If it means Caesar is less effectual than he says he is, and then karmically I'm down for it.
But does this feel kind of like a cop-out to you guys?
I was thinking about that, and I'm going to say as soon as we saw that Kinemon got hit by it, there was going to be some way out of it.
Yeah, I agree. As soon as Kinemon went down, it was like, this is not final.
It doesn't feel like a Pell or a Pagaya where Oda's like trying to fully milk it. If anything, it felt like a, hey guys, on the DL, it's gonna be all right. Just so you know, like
cool your jets.
You're saying
like just enjoy the ride for now, but like it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, guys.
So you're saying like as soon as K-Mon was affected at that time, you're saying, oh, now there's probably an answer to this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
What it is, and then how well it's gonna be done, I don't know, but like at least I'm not. I don't feel like it was an ass pull. I don't feel like Oda's trying to have his cake and eat it too, because it was still dependent on them actually making it through and getting to it. Could there have been more of a discovery to it instead of being just said right now? Sure, but at the same time, there's already so much going on. I don't have as much of an issue with it as I have other reveals in the story.
I didn't really have a big issue with it. I also kind of like saw this. Like we said, I kind of saw it coming. We've known Oda to pull some of his punches. So,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really have a big problem with it either. I just think it was a little convenient, and Oda kind of not really committing to it. where it kind of removes some of the stakes from the arc. Because like the whole thing was, oh, if you get caught by this, you die. Or like, the point of the show was to keep them in place so the poison could take effect. But if the poison doesn't really affect them that quickly, then like that's where I kind of feel like it weakens the potency of this whole demonstration. So
Totally agree.
I mean, like the show was to keep in place so the poison could take its effect and they can't get treated. But like, how long is it supposed to take? Is it supposed to be like hours, days? So just like that aspect of it, where it's like it's not something that would have killed him by this point, I do feel is a little bit of a cop out on Oda's part for not committing to this being this deadly poison. But we also get the explanation here that they do manage to get from Caesar the antidote to this. So even when they go and find the people, they have to administer the antidote after they break down the shells. So they haven't answered for how they're going to be treating the people. But just the fact that they're still alive at this point, I think is where my minor criticism is.
I can see that. I mean, again, in a perfect world, I think it would be, you say this thing's going to happen, it's going to happen. I think stuff like the Kinemon indication helps. For me, the real saving grace and the thing that does separate this from things like Pell and Pagaya for me is the fact that they wouldn't have that antidote if they didn't beat Caesar. If they did get this. If the fact that there is a happy ending is contingent upon the Straw Hats' victory. Otherwise,
I like that.
But other things, it's like, okay, none of it fucking mattered. This one, okay, we'd have to get there. And to me, that makes like the thumbs up of the Marines. It still matters to me. For me, actually, honestly, like at the time, the more important thing is how are the characters feeling in that moment?
Yes.
How does that potential loss even affect them in that moment and motivate them? And for me, and so like I don't even get that mad about those sorts of scenes. Like I think I rewatched when I rewatched Pell's death, I still cried.
Yeah.
Because of what it meant to Vivi, right? I was still a little like, come on. But like it still affected me, It can be both. It can be both. And and we can have grievances, but we can also be like, it's not bad,
Right. Yeah, and I'm not like approaching this from the standpoint of like, oh, I hate this. Like, I'm just saying it's a mind criticism. Like, I actually I don't mind it. Like I don't mind the end result. I don't mind it from a storytelling thing. I'm just pointing out, the decision and like where people might have a criticism of it. I like that we get to keep these characters around. For me, that's a strength of the series. Is that like we do get to reuse some of these characters, hopefully. These characters are still out there in the world, so there's more potential. So I like that aspect. And I think Cody did have a good point there where it was contingent on whether or not they beat Caesar. So if they hypothetically had lost to Caesar here, then they would have died. And Caesar would not have given the antidote, and everybody would have been captured by the gas. So yeah, that does make it important to defeat Caesar in this case. There's also no guarantee he would have given the antidote, but yeah, it seems like he's a little bit of a pushover.
Yeah, fuck Caesar. No, but completely valid, Joel. Completely valid.
But yeah, speaking about Kinemon, what do you guys think of this reunion with Momonosuke?
I'm gonna let Evan take this one.
Oh, this is a great reveal. Finally get to see Momonosuke in human form in his Wano kimono. Yeah, this is a really cool reveal and a really tender moment that we get. Because I think Kinemon's become like a pretty quick friend with the Straw Hats, and so he's a very likable character, and we get a likable outcome here.
I do think Luffy's face when he sees Momonosuke, like he looks so confused. He almost looks like mad, but he has like a funny face there.
Oh, you did say you're originally a human. That's right. I thought you were just an eel.
Like, who is this random boy on this ship here? We invite him. We have the full reveal of Momonosuke, so he's not just a silhouette. Yeah, we have this nice little reunion where it looked like this was not going to happen when we saw that Kinemon was covered by the poison, and then he cracked. So yeah, this is a nice result of Brooke accidentally breaking Kinemon's shell and kind of saving the day here.
I do love Sanji kicking Kinemon because he's still alive.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
I do love that, yeah.
And also, skipping over one thing real quick just to stay on Momo, but like
Sure.
the scene with him refusing the food at first because of his pride.
Yeah.
Aw, buddy. Aw.
Like father, like son.
Yeah.
But it was really sweet when Kinemon basically helps him like lower his guard, saying it's okay, they're good people. We can be in debt to them.
Yeah.
Letting go of their pride.
Yeah, it's a nice character development from Kinemon. But we did see that they had a similar reaction to each other. So it seems like it's a culture thing for them. And it's kind of something that they're also with friends. So they, like you said, they let their guard down here. And it's okay to admit, like, oh, we're hungry and like we're in your debt. And we can enjoy this meal, especially Momonosuke, who I feel like probably hasn't eaten for like who knows how long at this point, at least
Right.
days, right? Except for the devil fruit or the smile fruit. We also get more good news that the kids have been cured by Law.
Oh my
He
god.
just
This was hilarious. This made me laugh out loud.
oh, Law, you
Law
little
steps out of
asshole.
the room. I told you not to peek, didn't I? I was just inside cutting their bodies to pieces.
Just hacking and slashing away.
Painful
Oh my
long-term
God.
rehab. It's giving like remember all the way back in Syrup Village where like Usopp meets up with the Straw Hats and the three kids come back and they're like, "Where's our captain?" And Zoro's like, "His bones taste so delicious." It's giving the same bullshit. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it seems Chopper didn't approve of Law's doctoring methods here. They have, I guess, different tableside manner. The kids had a good time, though. They thought it was funny.
Yeah. And whatever he did worked.
Yeah, so I like this solution to the kids having the drugs in their system. And they find a quick and easy solution. But, Law's skilled enough to do this pretty quickly, so. Yeah, and one other thing I did love about this plot point was how Nami reacts to the situation, how she agrees to let Tashigi take point on this, and how the kids go with her. She says, "Oh, I have a weakness for powerful stares from lady sailors."
Love that.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
So, how did you guys read that line?
I mean, even before the page turn, Belmare was the first thought.
Yeah.
Belmare, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think I think we only see the picture and Usopp having the line just because like at this point they're probably readers who weren't around for Arlong Park and being like, "Oh, just so you know." But it's a little less heavy-handed than some reminders could be in other series. So it's done well.
Yeah, because we also did have that conversation before about whether or not we thought Nami was a lesbian, or there was like evidence of Nami being a lesbian. This could be used to make a case for that, but I think it's probably more likely. It could be a double thing, but I think it's probably more likely just the Belmare connection, which is outright stated in the pages here. But it's just like her wording just comes off a little bit misleading. I think maybe for like other people.
Yeah, I mean, I'll happily use it as like ammunition for my queer One Piece agenda. But like, I think author's attention was mainly Belmare, and I'll be honest about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck
It is a great moment, though.
Zoro Tashigi. It's Nami Tashigi now.
Yeah. Sorry, Evan.
Damn.
Sorry, bud. Hey, but you're a Zosan man now.
No, I'm still a Zo Shigi.
He'll come around.
Yeah, we
I still want Zoro and Tashigi. I want to ship that.
Cody, unfortunately, you had to leave us for that episode, but we did actually have a more extensive conversation about Zoro and Tashigi's relationship during the Monet fight.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I conked out. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, I guess I've got to watch it on YouTube.
Yep. Or you can also listen to it on your preferred podcast service as well.
I guess I can listen to it with so many different options. Thanks, Joel.
This food looks so good that Sanji cooks up.
Yeah, dude.
And he's got some serious range with his kitchen inventory. He's got like these two super-sized ladles in this house-sized bowl. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Where do they keep it? Where do they keep this stuff?
But this does seem to be a recipe he learned from being in New Kama Land, because he says that this is a New Kama Karate Secret Art 99 Vital Recipes. So this is something he picked up during the time skip.
Pretty cool.
All right, well, let's move on. Moving on to Caribou's New World, Kihihi Volume 19. The old hag drives off the mysterious soldiers. The old woman who helped Caribou earlier arrives, throwing rocks to scare off the soldiers.
Should I get what's going on here? I don't know.
It's not super clear yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're just as confused as Oda wants you to be.
Okay.
But the old lady comes back. She's here to help Caribou.
With this innocent smile, she chucks rocks at these people.
Get off my lawn! Okay. Let's move on to chapter 697, A Deal. Luffy plans to take down all of the 4 emperors at some point, so he's happy they aren't starting with Shanks. I'll tell Smoker he'll have to see how well the Straw Hats cooperate with their alliance. G5 was ordered not to get too friendly with the Straw Hats, so they make a line on the ground to keep themselves separate. The children attempt to say goodbye to Nami and Chopper, but the G5 men interfere, blocking the kids from view. The children begin to cry because the Straw Hats came to save them when no one else did. As things escalate, the G steps in and tells the men to stop acting shamefully. G5 breaks down, and they admit they love the Straw Hats, and the children get to say thank you and goodbye to their friends. Out at sea, Doflamingo finds a raft with Buffalo and Baby Five's heads, along with a transponder snail from Law. Law speaks to Doflamingo over the transponder snail and offers to make him a deal. He knows Doflamingo doesn't want to upset his client, Kaido, if he cannot produce more Smile. In exchange for getting Caesar back, he tells Doflamingo that he'll need to quit being one of the 7 warlords and put the announcement in tomorrow morning's paper.
Deal or no deal?
I'm so here for this Wall Street fuckery. Let's go.
Yeah, this is great.
Wow, such a smug little shit. It's amazing. And this is him believing in his plan 30%. This is 30% confidence. And he's still I mean, it's a good poker face. It's a good poker face. That's all I'm saying.
But it is a big ask to be like, hey, give up your power and your safety net with the Navy.
Yeah. But Law kind of holds all the cards here, and it's like by doing this he'll make Dofi vulnerable, who's, he seems like untouchable at the moment, but if he gives up being one of the warlords, he's like no longer untouchable.
That just tells us how big a threat this Kaido guy is. This guy that Luffy's like, yeah, I'll kick his ass.
Oh, you mean the most powerful creature in the world? This creature is sounding pretty intimidating.
The one who was fighting Shanks for 3 days while the Marineford War was brewing up?
Yeah. I wonder if we have like a Chopper situation where it was like a animal that ate a devil fruit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, interesting.
So they've been using words like creature and beasts. So I wonder if it's like a Chopper situation.
Okay.
All right, context clues.
Or maybe a zone type. Like a zone type would be the obvious one, especially because they're creating more zone types. So I could see it being one of those 2, perhaps.
Okay. Well, we do know that he's been using the Smile to create an army of Zoan types.
Yeah.
So that probably also lends to the title of King of the Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
But that might also be why he's interested specifically in having more Zoan types.
Checks out.
Or he just really likes zoos.
But specifically, Law here says King of the Beasts, often called the most powerful creature in the world. But I guess it could be the Zoan creature.
We'll have to find out.
Pretty intimidating, nonetheless. We also get a pretty quick name drop of Greenbit, which is highlighted for us as like a new location.
Yep.
That Law is straight up dropping to Smoker.
Yeah, I do love the candid conversation these two are having here.
Yeah. Hey man, just so you know, I'm gonna be heading to Green Bit right after this. GREENBIT, Green Bit, for no reason. Just dropping this in case of any interest to anybody.
Caesar may or may not be there. Hint, hint.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Law realizes exactly how important Caesar is to this whole operation, and he's seeing it as something that's worthwhile to have Doflamingo give the title, and he knows it's something that Doflamingo will have to consider. So just the fact that Law knows how important this decision is, I think that's also a big factor here. So it's very calculated on Law's part.
And it's also huge because like this is also a trump card that he still doesn't want to give up, because even as we get into the plan and they're like, well, it doesn't matter if we have Caesar or not, we're going in for the factory, blah, blah, blah. If Doflamingo has Caesar, then he can just still rebuild the factory, depending on how pissed off Kaido gets. So to me, that's what this conversation with Smoker seems to be to me. That seems to be insurance. That's my first guess.
Yeah.
But it is
interesting though, and his motives are clearly to set back Doflamingo, or at least put him in a more precarious position, which is something handled with great delicacy, as we see. Like, he's such a powerful character that you don't want to get this one wrong, or like you said, give up your hand too soon.
And I like this exchange here with G5, how they're going so far out of the way to not fraternize with the Straw Hats, and they're trying to make a clear line between the Navy and the pirates. They're also trying to set an example for the kids, but they go like too far. And even though they were willing to accept the food and the help from the Straw Hats during this whole incident, they're still having a hard time comprehending, like, oh, we can like let our guard down like a little bit. We can be a little bit grateful here, and like they're not really seeing where the kids are coming from. And Tashigi calls them out for it. So she's like, I know they're pirates, but you guys are still acting disgracefully. Smoker and Tashigi, I think, have more experience with being more friendly with the pirates and the Straw Hats. I mean, I'm sure like there are other members of the Navy, like Sakazuki probably would have a big problem with this, and he would probably see this as like cause for maybe executing or dismissing them all from the Navy for this. But Smoker and Tashigi are different in this case. Yeah, they're more willing to acknowledge where they had help from these Straw Hats and they did them a service, and they're not cold-blooded or cold-hearted like some other pirates. So they see the good that they're doing and they're recognizing that. And that's also why there's a little bit of goodwill here with Smoker again. So even the Smoker has been very diligently been trying to capture Luffy since Logtown. He's still willing to let these Straw Hats go based on their interactions and their experiences and the help that they've received from them, and also the agreement with the law.
Yeah, it is really interesting though. I feel like we've kind of toyed with this topic with a lot of characters within the Marines that are kind of able to see both sides. But here we're seeing like all of G5 coming to this realization of like the hypocrisy of kind of some of their beliefs and like the complacency of their like conviction on what they do. Because it's like, it goes back to the subject of like following a law or like following what you actually believe in. And here they're kind of just like following the textbook of like what they've been taught and what they know and just kind of defaulting to that. But instead of like using the experiences and the connections they've made with the Straw Hats, and like they're literally just having a party moments ago. But it's like how quickly they can flip that switch and default back to this almost like a Marine like brainwash, or this Marine like laws or way of thinking. And it's interesting because I feel like here we see them kind of come to heads with that and sort of change their tune by the end of the chapter.
Well, I think an important distinction is with G5, it feels like they're overcompensating because these Straw Hats kind of break their preconceived notions of how they should be interacting with pirates. So it's like something's not lining up, something's not computing properly here. So by the end of the chapter, they admit we actually like these guys, and we were doing this because we didn't want to admit that. But now, like we're just breaking down and fully just admitting how they feel. It's like, even though you guys are pirates, like you guys are great people, and we had fun, and you guys did some cool stuff here. So yeah, we love you guys. We just didn't want to admit that, and then like their superiors kind of give them like the okay to be like, all right, you guys can chill out a little bit.
They're just redneck tsunderes.
Like,
It's not like we like you or anything, you damn pirates. I also love how actually on that exact panel where they're saying we love these lawless vagabonds even though they're pirates, Smoker is literally sitting just on the marine side of the first line that got drawn.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
I think the metaphor of the line being drawn is cool, and they even specifically are like, this side's good and this side's evil.
Yeah.
And they make this very distinct line, but then kind of have this moral, like a different moral idea on maybe there isn't a line, or maybe there doesn't have to be a line.
Or maybe we can just redraw the line depending on the situation and what we need utilitarianly, whatever. I don't know the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Smoker did say like not to fraternize with them, so he wasn't like specifically saying like, we should be like hanging out with them, but like he's also not really like reprimanding them for doing it. It's kind of like I'm kind of your boss. I know how it goes, but let's just say my official stance is not to hang out with them, but I'm not going to stop you, kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm picturing, so at the end of this chapter, it's I was just gonna jump to Dofi arriving at this like little lifeboat where he finds the heads of his crew members.
Mm.
And a very serious looking transponder snail.
Yeah.
We kind of already talked about the deal, but I think it's hilarious when at the very end of the conversation, when the transponder snail starts like beeping.
So
like,
it was
so Law hangs up on
Yeah.
Dofi, and then it goes to like the classic like beep that you would get when someone hangs up on you on a phone.
Yeah.
But it's a transponder snail, so there's a transponder snail that's going beep, beep, beep. That got
You hung
me.
up
I
on
don't know
me.
why. Oh, yeah.
The
The
fact
mean,
that we
idea
he's
of
napped at
having
the
a
end.
living, I just absolutely love transponder snails. Like, we need like a lore book that's just on transponder snails and their lives and how they become recruited into becoming transponder snails and what their day-to-day life is like and like how that works.
Like how well they
I
mimic
need to
the
know.
talker.
Right. And like they have like costumes. Like, does Law pick out that costume, or do they have some sort of agency that gives them a costume depending on whoever purchased them? Or are they purchased, or how does it work? I need to know. This is an SBS that I need to write into Oda. Be like, give us more.
Yeah, it is something that hasn't really been explained too much. It's kind of like you just almost accept it in a way. But
Oh, totally.
But like
It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Logistics. Oh yeah, no, but it's like logistics. Like when you start to think about it, it's like, wait, yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, I just want to know.
Anything else for the chapter?
Nope.
Dofi's pissed. This is bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next part of the cover story. Oh, actually, before we do move on, there was one last thing I wanted to mention was Nami says that the Navy will see if Vegapunk can come up with a cure for the children being giants. So Law did find a way to treat the drugs that they were being given, but he didn't have a cure for the children becoming giants and like growing abnormally large. So that's still something that is going to have to be maybe addressed. But if not, then like their parents are just gonna get these really big kids back. But Nami is saying that they do have to have the Navy try to work with Vegapunk. So Vegapunk is their best chance of finding a solution for this.
Another Vegapunk name drop, man.
Yeah,
he's got to be the most name dropped character in all of One Piece so far. Oh, also while we're talking about the children, Mocha is back. We actually see her at the end of the last chapter, up and at 'em.
Yeah.
So she is conscious and seemingly doing all right.
Yeah.
So that's another good sign.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next part of the cover story. Caribou's New World, Kihihi, Volume 20, To the Port. Caribou waves farewell to the old lady and continues on to the port.
Boo.
And
Wish you
stay out.
misfortune.
Yep, so just getting back on course.
Take your metal lunchbox and get out of here.
All right, so let's get into chapter 698, Enter Doflamingo. G5 has found the hazmat suits that Caesar's men were wearing, which were developed by Vegapunk and proved to be able to protect from Caesar's gas, so they're able to safely go out and retrieve their comrades who are stuck. Smoker agreed to allow Brownbeard to help and look for his men as well. Law had left the rest of Buffalo and Baby Five's bodies here at Punk Hazard. G5 sees their heads flying around back to their bodies, followed by Doflamingo himself. He takes out several men using Haki of the Supreme King. Doflamingo put together that the Navy must have helped Law and the Straw Hats, demanding to know which way they went. But Smoker denies knowing. On the Sunny, Luffy asks Nami to remind him where they're going. She tells him Dressrosa, which catches Kinemon's attention. He explains this happens to be the very place they're looking to go in order to retrieve their friend who is being held there. Luffy tells everyone to gather so Law can fill them in on the plan. Law tells the others that the plan is to take down one of the emperors. He destroyed the equipment to manufacture the chemical while Luffy kidnapped Caesar. Doflamingo was using the alias of Joker to run his underground operation outside the Navy's attention. His biggest client is Kaido. Kaido was using the smile fruits to strengthen his army, but they have to cut off his supply to prevent him from gaining more power. The next step is to take out the Smile Factory and Dressrosa. On Punk Hazard, Doflamingo brutally attacks Smoker and said he plans to kill all of them once he learns what he needs to know. Suddenly, Kuzan arrives and asks Doflamingo to get off of his friend.
Let's go.
Fucking crazy.
Would you mind getting off him?
Excuse me, I think you might be standing on my friend.
Pardon me.
Well, I was just passing through. It seems you're teabagging my colleague. Kindly quit that shit if you don't mind.
Yeah, this is a great entrance. We had two great entrances in this chapter, but Kuzan's like making his way up in like favorite characters status for me. Making his way up. Trending upward. Very excited to see him. And we love Smoker, so I don't want anything bad to happen to Smoker. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
But the other epic entrance we get is Doflamingo comes flying in and just immediately decimates a large number of soldiers. And then pretty quickly handles Smoker here. We kind of see, I don't know if we've seen this much detail in his ability before, but we do get some like strings attached to fingertips here. Some like pretty clear, what I think are like puppetry strings, but it also kind of looks like the way like the water karate looks, where he's like almost grabbing the air and pulling it.
Oh yeah.
It kind of looks like that as well.
100% see that.
Or even like Whitebeard, where he kind of like grabs the earth, like he like grabs the air almost.
Right.
Punches it.
Like Jembe. It's reminding me of like Jembe, Whitebeard, kind of like elemental, almost just like grabbing the air. But also could be like strings, I think.
Yeah, because we also do see him flying in, and there's kind of this like whoosh and flap.
Yeah.
Maybe he's an airbender.
That'd be cool.
You haven't seen the air fruit yet. It's the gas.
But yeah, that's interesting though that you said that it looks like strings, because you've also kind of referred to Doflamingo as kind of like the puppet master before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this supports my theory, I think, because it looks like strings attached to fingers.
Yeah, because this is like a different detail than we've ever seen with Doflamingo's powers before, so we've never actually seen it portrayed this way.
I think I called it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hasn't been confirmed yet.
Hasn't been confirmed yet, but I would say this supports my theory so far. But yeah, pretty lethal, and he kind of tears his way right through G5 here.
Yeah.
That first panel of him just running around on the ground, like fully fucking hunched over,
Yeah,
like an actual flamingo about to fuck your shit up. Honestly, just like it's the stance and like the Kubrick stare on it. It's horrifying.
yeah, it's
And
great.
I just love the fact that like we go into like a full on like, upside down view of his face and like the neck snapping. Like this guy he's dripped out, but he's grotesque.
Mm.
Yeah, this guy's intense.
We also do learn that he has the ability to use the Haki of the Supreme King,
Yeah,
which adds another layer to how dangerous he is.
yeah, no surprise. This guy's got aura. He's got mad aura.
Yeah.
Farming.
Yeah, and then he also knocks the cigars out of Smoker's mouth, so you know it's serious.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, and like at the end of the chapter, we see like the aftermath, and like Smoker's entire like body is like slashed. And then with Kuzan showing up, that answers the question of who is the mysterious figure that was also on their way.
Yep.
Gotta upgrade from that bicycle.
Yeah, I don't think it's shown here. I think it's shown in the next chapter.
Before we move on from Doflamingo's fighting style, it does look like slicing motion, or like we get slice as an action word here,
Yeah.
and the wounds do look like slashes.
It could also be like a wind slash too.
Yeah. I can't wait till we get the deets on what's up with that. What's his deal?
Either way, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. This guy's scary.
And he's on a tear. He is desperately trying to find Law. He doesn't want somebody else, like especially this punk kid, coming in ruining his operations and messing up his good thing. So he's not going to stand for that. And I like that part of the reason why he's going so crazy on G5 is because he knows that they're holding back information. He's trying to find out where they went. And Smokers says he doesn't know. But as Cody had mentioned previously, Law specifically said exactly where he's going. So he name dropped that they're going to Greenbit. But Smoker actually does him a solid here and says, I have no idea where they're going.
Yep.
See, he doesn't arc on them.
Nope.
We love Smokey.
Smoker is a class act.
He's a real one.
He's a real one.
I love fantasy stories for this exact reason.
But it's also kind of like unsettling at the beginning of the chapter how we see Baby 5 and Buffalo's bodies tied up with chains and they don't have their heads and just kind of like whizzing around over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard to see where Law gets his reputation from.
Yeah.
Surgeon of Death and Surgeon of Nightmares.
He just has an unorthodox doctoring style. It just has Chopper.
Yeah.
Also, tangent, the voice actor for the live action Chopper was in the Superman movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
word.
she plays Cat Grant.
Oh, no
cool.
way. Damn, good for her. Let's go.
Yeah, it was the movie was really good, so I recommend everybody go see it. By the time this comes out, hopefully it's still in theaters.
Hopefully I managed to see it by then.
Yeah.
Coming back to the Straw Hats, though, I do love how Oda just takes like a little bit of time for Frankie to go over how he got the mini Mary back from the other side of Punk Hazard.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna let that one detail go unsaid. He's not saving for an SBS. He's like, no, we need to establish this.
I do appreciate
And
that.
miss the chance at a diagram? Yeah, right. We're getting it in there. We actually get another diagram in this chapter explaining like the different territories and how they're like it's like a crime syndicate. They kind of own different like territories in the New World, which also warrants a diagram.
Yeah, so I kind of just breaking down how the New World is set up.
Makes sense. I feel like we kind of talked about it a little bit with like Whitebeard and how his territory worked in the like previous arc, but it's nice getting a little diagram and explanation.
It is nice seeing how much Oda is like laying the groundwork of how the societal world of the new world works pretty soon after getting in there. Like when we got to the Grantland to Paradise, the first half of lava was like, okay, here's how the islands work. Here's how the log pose works. Here's this one faction that we're gonna go really deep into. But right now it's like here's like how like the people in this world works. Here's how you have to navigate it politically in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to see him really fleshing that out for us immediately. I also do like the fact that we're kind of seeing like Law start to establish a pattern of interaction with the Straw Hats. Part of it's exposition, but part of it is him like being the stray man to Luffy, but also being the vehicle for just how crazy it is. Like in the beginning, Luffy's like, "Is it just me or are we on a hillside? It's moving crazy fast?" And Law's like, "It's a sea hill. You see him all the time."
This guy's the captain.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's got no clue.
And speaking of Law dropping some knowledge, he also mentions here that Kaido has at least 500 people in his crew with devil fruit powers.
500.
That's substantial.
That is like an army.
That is an entire army of presumably Zoan type devil fruit users.
And
I think they might be a little outnumbered.
Wow. How many people on this boat? 1, 2, 3.
And Usopp asks, anyone want to quit? And then Chopper and Nami like, me.
And Caesar gets one moment in the spotlight, and then Law fucks it up for him again.
I love this.
Thankfully. Another reason why Law is my favorite character.
But yeah, I do like this little,
Vegapunk made
the bashful face that like Caesar's making at the bottom. We like give him like attention. He's trying to like act all like humble and stuff, and then he finds out that it was Vegapunk's work that basically Vegapunk did the discovery, and then like Chopper's like, "Oh, Vegapunk's a genius," and then it says not interested in Caesar anymore.
So good.
And then last thing I wanted to mention in this chapter, we'll get more details later, so I'm not going to say too much about this, but we just get a little bit of plot detail that Kinemon said that one of his people is being held at Dressrosa. So it's actually very convenient that they're also going to Dressrosa. So it was very fortunate that they picked up Kinemon from Punk Hazard and they're all going to the same place.
Convenient.
So yeah, it looks like they have a reason to stick around.
Fine by me. These two are great.
Okay, anything else for this chapter?
Nope.
Okay, let's move on. Chapter 699, Morning Edition. Doflamingo did not listen and attempts to kill Smoker, but Kuzan freezes his entire body. Doflamingo breaks out of the ice, but decides he doesn't want to take on a former admiral. Before he leaves, he asks where Kuzan stands, but doesn't get an answer. Kuzan helps G5 to treat Smoker. Kuzan tells Smoker that he realized he doesn't have to be part of the world government to do good in the world. Smoker asks what he's doing here. Kuzan admits he's here to see him. Smoker asks if he has a black market connection, but before he could answer, the other members of G5 dismiss that idea. Kuzan warns to watch out for Doflamingo and suggests informing Sakazuki to mobilize forces. The rest spent the night relaxing, but keep an eye out in case Doflamingo found them. The next morning arrives along with a paper. The paper shows an article confirming Doflamingo has stepped down as one of the 7 warlords, as well as from the throne of Dressrosa. Word of Law's alliance with the Straw Hats has gotten out as well. Another alliance makes the papers, confirming the Kid Pirates, On-Air Pirates, and Hawkins Pirates have teamed up. The news has caused confusion with the people in Dressrosa. Law tells the Straw Hats that once they give Caesar back to Doflamingo, the deal is complete. But there may be a catch, so Law gives Doflamingo a call.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
let's start from the let's start from the top on this one.
Dude, I was so primed for a Kuzan Doflamingo battle right here. I was like hyped. So a little let down to see, Doflamingo kind of walk away. But this is wild. We got 2 titans.
I mean, it does seem like Kuzan is able to handle the situation pretty pretty easily. So you saw how Doflamingo went before with Smoker, but now we're seeing Kuzan is not really struggling. It's Doflamingo. I mean, it doesn't seem like Doflamingo is
No.
like actually trying to fight back, but I think Doflamingo realizes that he's outmatched here, and he decides not to press his luck.
Yeah, Doflamingo's like, I don't have time for this, but I don't know if he like would confidently be able to. Again, I would just love to see this fight because I would be very curious to see who wins this fight.
Yeah.
And I think Doflamingo knows that, win or lose, it's not going to be a pushover fight. It's going to take a lot of time. And right now he does not have a lot of time because he's kind of pressed. He's got, places to be and, things to do. So,
Well, the fact that he
forgoes this one.
leaves without killing everybody like he was intending to, and without the information that he came here for. So Doflamingo leaves empty-handed.
True. Yeah.
So he realized that if he tries to fight Kuzan, he's probably not going to win this fight, and he's not going to get the information. So he has to kind of lose here and leave without getting any of the things he set out to accomplish by coming to Punk Hazard.
He does get his crewmates back, though. He returns their heads to their bodies and gets them back.
That's fair. So not empty-handed. So he did have a small victory.
Yeah, one small victory. He got helicopter man and gun girl back.
Yeah. I do like this little conversation though, because Doflamingo asks Kuzan, "Where do you stand in this? Like now that you've left the world government, like what's your role in the world?" But it seems like Kuzan doesn't really have an answer for him.
We do get a little bit though in his conversation with Smoker, where he says, "I'm just me."
Yeah.
I think he's just kind of following his own sense of justice and stepping in where he sees appropriate.
And the page after that, we do still see a bit of his old personality shine through. The fact that you saw me is, whatever. I forget. Who cares?
Yeah.
See, still him. He's still him.
Love Kuzan. Kuzan.
But he doesn't seem, even like with Smoker, he doesn't feel the need to give too much information either. And Smoker kind of just accepts what Kuzan says. He's like, all right, well, I'm clearly not getting more information out of you. One interesting point here is when Smoker asks if he has a black market connection, Kuzan doesn't answer right away. And G5 steps in and they kind of like dismiss that, and they don't give Kuzan a chance to like respond or give an answer to it. Yep. So it does make me think that there might be more to Kuzan here that might be not on the up and up.
Yeah.
But that's not outright stated here, but that seems to be what's implied.
But if you want to walk that line, you got to be well informed of both sides. He also makes the point that whatever Doflamingo is up to, whatever is going on, will be the greatest challenge yet faced by the new naval headquarters.
Yeah.
So he's like, something's up, and it's a big deal, and it's going to be a big problem, probably pretty soon.
Yeah. Like, you didn't hear from me, but I think Sakazuki should probably be informed and start mobilizing some troops. Something's going down.
Yep.
And we also do get the penguin creature thing.
Yep. Not a bicycle.
Hell yeah.
Not a bicycle. A living organism, in fact. With a beak.
He's very cute.
And very
very cute.
And then we move on from Punk Hazard. And we get the Strats up to their shenanigans. So they have some new outfits, and it's nice that they're laying low and having a little bit of fun. I like Chopper's little outfit though. He has a mustache. I wonder if Kinemon had made this armor for them, because it looks like they're kind of like samurai inspired.
Luffy does call it Kin's armor, so I would assume that he had to make it for him.
Yeah. So I'm guessing he didn't have it lying around, and he's like, "Hey, can you bring my stuff here? I have all this armor." So he probably just made it using his devil fruit power.
Not a lot of room in that kimono.
Speaking of Kin, we get a cool reference here to Shu Sui, the sword, the great sword of Ryuma.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But Kinemon's upset about that.
Oh yeah. How'd you get that?
I guess no one gives enough of a fuck about Moria to explain that whole thing to him.
He did say it was a long story.
Yeah, true.
Like, oh, you gotta go read through a bar to get the deets on that one.
Ask
Yeah.
Brooke. He has a better account of it than I do.
Yeah, so Kinemon starts to attack Zoro and calls him a grave robber. He calls them the grave robbing of Wano's national hero, and he traumatizes their land. And he discovers that it was him that took the blade. And Zoro's like, dude, it wasn't me. I found it. he gave it to me.
Yeah.
Then we get into like this awkward scene. I'm not a fan of like the Momonosuke bathing things here.
Not at
Uh,
all.
I think this could have been like left out. I think it's just like uncomfortable. Like it might be a different culture thing, but like bathing with the children and then all the pervy guys flipping
A
out
grown
and then
ass man, fucking yeah.
yeah, and the Momonosuke being like leaning into it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all.
Yeah. Yeah. When
Yeah.
when Momo started leading to it, I was like, yeah, this is not great.
Yeah,
There's a lot. I'm definitely not a stupid 10-year-old because this joke is not hitting.
Yeah.
but I do like how they call him a wicked old goblin though.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Kinemon.
But it looks like Dofi does abdicate his titles.
Yeah. This is huge.
Did you think he'd go through with it?
You know, I don't know. I thought there was a chance that he might, just because we know how important Caesar is to his whole deal.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it was still shocking, even just seeing it, because it's such big news and it's such like a big decision that was made very quickly, clearly showing how important Caesar is to him. Yeah, now there's a new spot in the Seven Warlords.
Which they already weren't full to begin with.
True. Yeah, true. But yeah, also the announcement. There's a bunch of announcements here. We get
Mhm.
Doflamingo leaves Seven Warlords. We get the alliance
Well,
of Law.
hold on. But before we move on to that,
Oh, okay.
so Cody did also point out that he abandoned his titles, plural. So not only
Oh,
did he
yes.
quit being one of the Seven Warlords, he also gave
No
up the
longer a
throne.
king.
He was a king of Dressrosa, so he gave up his country as well.
Right.
That wasn't actually explicitly stated in the deal, but the fact that he gave up the throne, I think that's also another layer that maybe was tied to his power as one of the warlords. Now he's also not the king of Dressrosa. So that's another thing that he abandoned for the purposes of Caesar.
Which would lead one to believe that maybe he's seeking a title that's greater than both of those titles.
Okay, so you
mean,
think he has something
And
else up his sleeve?
yeah, I mean, I feel like you don't just give that up for some black market trading on the side. I feel like his goals have to be big in order for him to give up these two very like prestigious titles, because like the Seven Warlords title gave him a lot of freedom and a lot of ability to run his businesses unhindered, essentially. And so I think it's got to be more than just like Caesar and like weapons of mass destruction that he's selling on the black market. I feel like there's got to be. I think he's got a title that's in mind that supersedes Seven Warlords and Royal Throne of Dressrosa.
Or maybe it's just that profitable to have the smile fruit and having that business going on. And maybe he's also afraid of Kaido. So this might be a bigger priority for him. So he might have like waited to see what would be a greater loss, and he figured this would actually be less of a loss. That's how important this was to Doflamingo.
Wow. Must be making lots of money.
Yeah, and then Law's like, "Yep, he didn't have any choice," and Caesar's like, oh, "Joker, you did all this for me." Okay, but yeah, there also were other announcements that you were going into as well.
Yeah, we have an alliance, an official alliance between Law and the Straw Hats.
Hmm. That makes the news. The world
Which is
is
hype.
now aware of this.
Very exciting. But yeah, the fact that that's public is interesting. And it's not the only alliance. There's also an alliance of Kid, Hawkins, and Apu.
Hmm.
which we saw coming. We kind of saw some of the early, or we saw the beginning of that. We saw that question get asked, and then here's the answer.
So it looks like they decided to go through it after all.
Yeah, things are changing. People are making moves.
The world seems to be reacting to the news, and the people just Rosa are confused because they have no idea what made Doflamingo make this decision, and now they're in a state of confusion, like what's going to happen to our country? Like our king just stepped down. Like what's going on?
Yeah, Doflamingo is blowing up, as they say, with all the phones.
I just love these shots of him just like in his fucking office or whatever, like fully lights off, only lit by the window. I think there's such a nice contrast there.
Yeah.
Reading a book to a record.
Mm-hmm. He's not just a
Doesn't-
bastard. He's a cultured bastard.
Yeah. But he also doesn't seem like a man who's freaking out about the decision he just had to make.
He does look happy though.
Yeah.
No.
The veins still popping out in his forehead.
Is it ever not, though?
Exactly. Well, that's the beauty of it.
He's always
True.
angry.
True.
Mhm. That's my secret law. I'm always angry.
But yeah, it's true. He's not smiling here. A very rare frown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this seems like not a great volume for Doflamingo.
Yeah, for like the man who's got it all figured out and is kind of making all the moves behind the scenes. He's definitely forced here to make a decision he doesn't want to have to make, which is probably uncomfortable and not the usual for him.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for the chapter?
I'm good.
Let's move on. Okay. And before we get into the next part, just real quick, in the SBS, we have confirmation of the penguin, his name. He's a super penguin, and his name is Camel.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. But he's also a hard-boiled dude, so don't call him cute, or you'll get burned. I called him cute earlier, so I might get burned.
Yeah. You're in Vietnam.
Uh-oh. Take it back.
Yeah, don't post this. You're gonna have to bleep yourself in the edit.
Yeah.
You can't let it get out.
Man, why do you call that penguin a bitch? I don't get it.
You call him hard-boiled. He was so cool.
Do I have to call PETA on Joel? I don't get it.
All right, let's get to the next part of the cover story. Caribou's New World, Kihihi, Volume 21, got curious and returned to town, where I'm a wanted man. Caribou decided to return to town instead of going to port, where it seems these soldiers are looking for him.
Why? What is wrong
Just
with you?
won't give up. I don't even think we've seen that star symbol before.
So that was on the back of his jacket. The jacket
Right,
that
but I'm
Caribou-
saying I don't think we've seen that like outside of this cover story.
the cover story. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think so
Yeah.
either.
But it is on the flags that the soldiers are carrying around, so that appears to be related somehow.
It's on their berets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But it looks like he decided to have a little snack while he's at it. He's eating one of the meat pies. Yeah. So I know Evan has been very vocal about his dislike for Caribou, but I also kind of feel like this cover story seems to be spinning its wheels a little bit. Because like, oh, he's leaving to go to the port. He's still going to the port. Okay, he gets caught at the port. Okay, he's like, he gets saved by the lady. Okay, he goes back from the port. So it's like, yeah, I guess he's trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, this
And
one
it's
does seem
spinning-
to struggle a little bit.
It is, and it's on such a despicable character. Like I don't want to see the redemption arc of Caribou. Like I don't care.
Yeah, some characters we can just say you're an asshole and it's that simple. We don't really need,
Right.
we need to get into it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we'll see how that plays out another time, because for now we're moving on to chapter 700, His Momentum. News that came out this morning caused a lot of confusion around the world and those with connections to Doflamingo. It's unclear how the Kid, Apu, and Hawkins alliance got out, but Kid points out they're going after one of the emperors as well. They wonder which one. Doflamingo answers Law's call and confirms he left the warlords. Luffy gets antsy and takes over the call, announcing himself as the future pirate king, and warns Doflamingo to not get involved with horrible things like that again. Doflamingo admits he's been wanting to meet Luffy for some time now. Tells Luffy he has something he thinks he'll want. Luffy is curious, but Law tells him not to get roped in. Law tells Doflamingo they will leave Caesar at Greenbit for him to pick up. After the call, Luffy explains to the Straw Hats that Caesar is just a decoy. The plan is still to destroy the Smile Factory. The problem is he wasn't able to confirm where it's located. As they settle in for a meal, Kinemon explains he can't go into detail, but they were originally trying to reach a place called Zo. Law says that that's actually where he had left his people, so after Dressrosa, he was planning to head there to pick them up. Kinemon and Momonosuke were trying to head for Zo with 2 other samurai, but were shipwrecked. Kinemon, Momonosuke, and one other, Kanjuro, were washed ashore on Dressrosa. Momonosuke tried to hide from Doflamingo's men on a ship, but the ship took off with him. Kanjuro told Kinemon to go after Momonosuke without him, but Kinemon said he would return once he was able to save Momonosuke. At Navy headquarters, Brand discusses the state of the 7 warlords. Buggy has declared as one of the 7 warlords, but with Doflamingo stepping down and Law's title being at stake, this puts the entire system at risk. Fleet Admiral Sakazuki tells him that he doesn't want anything happening under his watch and sent Fujitora to Dressrosa to monitor things. Back at Dressrosa, Doflamingo addresses his highest officers. He entrusts a chest to Diamante, the hero of the Colosseum. The chest contains the Flame fruit. The strats arrive at Dressrosa.
Wow,
Ooh.
another packed chapter.
This is a big
Front
one.
to back.
Yeah.
Chapter 700.
Yeah, did not disappoint. I don't even know where to start. There's so much that happens.
Let's start from the top.
All right. I think it's mentioned here that all of this news, a lot of these reports and like breaking news are coming from the same like freelance writer.
Well, at least the alliance of the Kid Pirates with the On Air and Hawkins Pirates, that at least was from this writer Absa.
Yeah, and they also mentioned like a bunch of the information's been coming from the same author. I feel like that name drop's going to be important later on.
Well,
So yeah, anytime there's an exclusive scoop these days, he's behind it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like a secret story. Like anytime it's like,
Cody, without answering, do you know who this is?
oh yeah, I was about to ask Evan.
Okay.
The answer's in the panel. The answer's right in the panel. You can see it right there.
For real? Wait.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, there's a logistical reason as to how he's getting these scoops.
So my mind went somewhere,
really...
but I didn't see it. Like I just had an idea based off.
You
of
don't see it?
I'm trying to find the panel.
It's right there.
Where is it?
So it's the.
If you can't see it, it's okay, but it's right there.
Well, it's the second page of the chapter, and it's the one next to the box that says Kid Pirates Hideout in the New World. So if you look at that panel, there's a big clue in the panel itself and the art.
Oh, Thriller Bark. I didn't even see that on the.
Wait, Evan, you didn't see it? You didn't see it?
I didn't see the mast. I guess based off of Absa that it was Absalom.
So you couldn't see it.
I saw what you did there, Cody.
Thriller Bark. I see.
He's right there.
Yeah, I see him on the boat now. I see it.
No, you don't see him.
You don't see him. You can't see him. No one can see him.
I know. I get the joke. But maybe some of the perfect reporter though.
No, it's so clever. It's so good.
It is good.
Yeah.
I was hoping he wouldn't make it back into the story, but that's okay.
Yeah. So it's just like a little thing, but yeah. So Absalom's just going in using his clear fruit powers and like eavesdropping on people, getting information and then reporting on it. So like, how's this guy find out this information? Like, this is crazy. It's like he just like happened to come across them and like listened on what they're talking about.
Yep. That's one use for that fruit.
But his pen name is not different from his actual name. It's very close. So he goes by Absa instead of Absalom.
Don't want to be too obvious.
Don't
give it away.
Yeah, but the little Thriller Bark flag on the ship confirmed it's Absalom.
Yep. I honestly didn't even catch that. I just thought it was like a ship. I didn't take a close look.
Yeah,
although it's a really
small.
cool ship with the bat bow is really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was just so much going on in this chapter. I feel like I didn't slow down to like really analyze every panel. It was just like information overload. There was so much going on.
But we also get the information that they're also going after one of the emperors.
Yeah.
So they have the same idea as Law and Luffy. So now the question is, which one are they going after?
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be funny if it was the same one and it was like
Oh,
everyone kind of meets in the same place, same time.
might increase our chances.
Yeah. Or a decrease depending on how it spins.
They start fighting each other instead. Could happen.
Potentially. I mean, that's the goal. You gotta beat all of them if you want to get to the top.
Yeah, and they want the credit.
Yep.
Right.
But in the previous page, we also got a little glimpse of Bonnie, who's snacking on some pizza, kind of laying low here.
We get Jinbei as well. Next page.
Yep, Jinbei.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look too happy.
Mm-mm.
He knows something's brewing.
Is that crocodile in like the top left corner?
I thought so too.
I hadn't noticed that until just now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know exactly who this is.
That was my first. I instinctually went to crocodile too on that one.
That's a good guess. The former warlords checking in on the current warlords.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that one, so that's a good catch. Yeah, so then we move on to Dressrosa. It looks like Doflamingo has like a room full of transponder snails, and they're all ringing off the hook. And that little girl, it seems to be like just hanging out with them. Doflamingo confirms he quit the warlords, and Luffy has to butt in and announce he's the future king of the pirates. This is one of my favorite running gags at this point, where he just like whoever he's talking to on the phone, he just has to announce, "I'm the future king of the pirates."
That's great.
Yeah, and he tries to chew into Doflamingo here, and like he scolds him for doing such terrible things, as if like Doflamingo wasn't aware of like what he was doing.
Yeah, classic Luffy.
Usopp's just trying to somehow prime away from the phone.
I love it,
even though it's on a cord. I just won't do shit about it.
Usopp's trying to choke him out.
Yeah. Yeah, so this gives us the details that the plan wasn't really about Caesar, and Law says that Caesar was just meant to be a decoy. While their goal is still the same, but their way of going about it is different, and there's another layer to it. So there's the factory in Dressrosa that is being used to take the sad and convert it into the smile fruits. So if they can get rid of the factory, that'll cut off their ability to use the sad chemical to produce these devil fruits. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be using Caesar as a way to lure Doflamingo away to give them hopefully some time to try to find this factory.
Yeah, Law's pretty brilliant. I know he's not a Straw Hattie. I know it's an alliance, but he would bring so much to the Straw Hat team, just not only because of his fighting power, but just because of his like tactical mind and like awareness of just like the new world and like how everything functions and like who, a lot of just like basic information that the Straw Hats don't really have because they're so new to the game or like new to, this new environment.
Yeah, because Law has like a 2-year head start on Luffy and has been learning about like the new world, making a name for himself and being immersed in this. So he has more experience than the Straw Hats do in this part of the world and how things operate. And he's more strategic and calculating than we're used to having with the Straw Hats.
Right.
We do already see him getting wrapped up into the Straw Hats momentum in what I think is one of the funniest scenes in his entire stretch of the story, where Luffy's saying, "Well, we'll figure out when we get there. I want to see Dressrosa. I want to go to Wano," and Law's basically saying, "No, you you can't do this without a plan." And everyone goes to get breakfast. It's like, "Oh, I want a sandwich. Oh, I want a cotton candy. I just want tea." And Law's like, "Okay, I hate bread, so I want bread on my." Fuck! Shit! It's happening.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's the Luffy effect.
It's the Luffy effect, man. They're such good foils. They're such a good comedic pair.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So is Law saying he doesn't want bread on his sandwich?
Yeah, like I think it's mentioned in the SBS. Law hates bread.
Yes, on my sandwich.
But
then he's
but,
having
yeah.
rice balls instead. He's having rice balls instead.
So he's not having a sandwich. He's having something else. But
Yeah,
Nice.
but no bread on his sandwich.
yeah.
Is a rice ball a sandwich or is it a crunch wrap?
I mean, I wouldn't really.
Or is it a hot dog?
Or is it a hamburger?
Or is it a ravioli?
Okay, so he's got the onigiri like in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
it
it's
was like, go, he's eating it.
it's more like just like a rice thing with like filling in it. So I wouldn't really say it falls under like a sandwich category.
So it's a ravioli.
It's it's finger food, but yeah, ravioli.
I'll get into the carb matrix later. I can't get too off the rails here. Yeah, he did not want any bread on his sandwich.
Yeah, so he's having not a sandwich.
I also just love the fact he's the man with the plan. He's like, we have a 30% chance of this. He's like on this fucking hostage negotiation. He's got all the tattoos he's dripped out, but he's also just like the fucking picky eater. Like, oh, I can't eat that. I'm sorry. Like, he's
But of course
I mean, Terry Law's a fucking dork. He's so cool, but he's such a fucking dork. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
He can be both.
Yeah, and we get quite a bit of information here during this conversation where Kinemon kind of gives more of what's going on with them. He's saying, I can't reveal why I was being chased, but they were trying to reach a place called Zo. So they got detoured and didn't end up at their destination. So Law recognizes Zo and says that's actually where my crew. So a lot of coincidences of them trying to get to the same places. Very convenient.
It's really working out.
Convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, the goal was to go to Zo, but they have to go to Dressrosa first because they need to go help their friend. Because it wasn't just Kinemon and Momonosuke that had left from Wano. They also had. It said that there was 2 other samurai. One of them got washed up on Dressrosa with them, and got captured and left behind. So they said that Kinemon promised that he would come back and help his friend Kanjuro. And we have this little flashback scene where it's in Kinemon's hair. Actually picked up on one this time. We have this like little dramatic moment where he says like, I'll come back for you, my friend. So yeah, the Strats are on board with rescuing his friend as well.
Yep, that works out.
Also, Momonosuke turned back into a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's eating his little sandwich
Figuring-
as a dragon.
He's figuring out that zone fruit. Zone type. Devil fruit.
Yeah. And after that, we get a little check-in with the Navy. Brandu is giving a report at Navy headquarters, kind of going over the state of the warlords. So we get like a little head count here, but now Doflamingo is being let go. Law's title is also at risk, but we get the reveal of Buggy being confirmed as one of the new warlords.
Woo-hoo. Genius Jester.
Yeah.
Bucky. No longer
I give him a
Bunny
cool
the
title.
Clown. He is the Genius Jester. Happy days. This is great.
Yeah, so Evan, you seem to have picked up on that probably being the case. I think before the time skip, where they were talking about possible replacement for the warlords. I think you had mentioned that you had a feeling that Buggy would be one of the replacements.
I was hoping.
Yeah.
I was hoping. So this is great. We love Buggy. Also a powerful ally to Luffy now, potentially. Unless all the power's gone to his head and he sees him as a rival. But they seem to have like a friendly rivalry.
That is a pretty Buggy thing to happen, though.
Yeah, this is true.
Buggy would let power go to his head.
Yeah.
And Luffy does seem to clash with the warlords. The only one that really has been on his side has been Boa, and then like Jinbei had left and gotten his side. But yeah, his track record with the warlords, Law, I guess now at this point too, we can count Law. But yeah, a lot of the other ones have been more antagonistic to him. But there's also another one that isn't actually named here, because Brandu says plus the man I previously described to you makes 7, because we only see 6 in these panels here.
Yeah. Very vague.
I'll say real quick that I don't remember when my break during Punk Hazard was. I want to say it was like about halfway through, but this is the chapter I caught back up to the series on. It
Oh,
was
okay.
short-lived because I took another break during our
Good
next
one.
arc.
Okay.
But like to come back to Buggy being a warlord, best feeling ever. I remember exactly where I was. I remember like the general time of day. I remember what I was eating. I remember like where I was in the room. Fuck,
It was sandwiches.
core memory. Core memory. Yep.
This is a good chapter. Like, there's so much packed into this chapter. Last chapter too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
it'd be
milestone
a good
chapter.
time to get back. Yeah, it really is. Like, it'd be a good time to get back into it. Really setting a stage.
Yeah.
The cast is changing, and it's exciting.
The world is evolving.
Yep.
Like it's just so turbulent at this moment in time. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Also, I want Brandon's shirt. Like I want to know where this guy shops.
Pretty psychedelic.
Pretty sick. Pretty sick.
Pretty sick.
Then we also get a name drop from Sakazuki. So he says he sent Fujitora.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know who this guy is, but there's a name drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
Doesn't
lastly,
sound good.
we get to the end of the chapter where we get a little check-in with Dressrosa, and we see some more of Doflamingo's officers. We had seen some of these people before. We get like this weird guy who's kind of like being creepy to Baby Five. Baby Five's doing her typical thing and be like, "Oh, he needs me," and then she kind of falls for it.
I love these chairs of the 4 suits.
For the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
Do you think someone's missing, or do you think the heart is for Joker? Is he the Joker of Hearts, or did somebody not make the meeting?
Unclear.
Yeah.
But it does kind of go with the the card kind of naming schemes we've been getting. Joker also being a card.
Yep. These people love a strong theme.
So we do get introduced to this character, Diamante, who is the hero of the Colosseum.
Yep.
He seems like to be a little reluctant to accept these like the praise, but then like Doflamingo just seems to know exactly what buttons to push to kind of like manipulate these people. So then like he's like, "Oh, all right, fine, I'll take it back." He's like, "Oh, well, all right, fine. If you want to call me the king of the Colosseum, the hero of the Colosseum, I'll take it. All right, I'll take it."
Presses the buttons or pulls the strings.
Yep.
Whatever.
It also feels to me like so if you work at like a theme park like Disneyland or something, there's a rule where like if a guest offers you money or a tip, you're not allowed to take it unless they ask you 3 times. So it's like, this is great service. Like, oh no, I can't accept this. I mean, really, I'd love to give you the tip. I really shouldn't. Well, please, I guess if it, I guess service is very good. I guess I can take the money. Like, it's kind of even that to me as well.
Yeah.
I'm not really a hero, but like, no, you don't have to be so funny. I mean, yeah, sure, I'm the hero of the Colosseum.
Yeah,
I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like he wants to, but like he's kind of like yeah.
So good. So
it doesn't take a lot to convince him. And then we also get this crazy reveal that Doflamingo has the flame fruit. And previously in the chapter, when Doflamingo was on the call with Luffy, he says that's something that you might be interested in. So now we actually get the reveal of what that is. Evan, what do you make of this?
Oh, I don't know. Like I wasn't expecting it because I feel like I don't know enough about like devil fruits to know exactly how this came to be, and I don't think it's I don't think there's any GMOs in that flame fruit. It looks authentic, not made in a factory.
So you don't think it's a fake one?
I don't think so, because like when we saw the other pre-made ones, they had like a distinct look to them. They had like, I don't remember the exact style, but there was like the black dots on them or something like that.
It was like the swirls.
Circles,
yeah. It looked like it had like a distinct look, and this does not look like that, which would lead me to believe it's real and not, factory made. Plus, it's also a unique one. It's not a Zoan type. It's a flame fruit. So,
well, I do want to say we haven't actually seen what the flame fruit looks like.
True.
And we also don't have confirmation that Doflamingo can only make Zoan type fruits.
This is also true. Yeah. And also, is there only one of each fruit? Like Ace had this fruit, So would that mean that no one else could ever have it because Ace had it?
So yeah, each devil fruit is unique.
Right. So so it has to be made then, you're saying, logically
I didn't say
speaking.
that. I'm just saying
Well,
it's something to think about.
Yeah, either way, I'm super intrigued. I'm very curious to see if Luffy is even interested in it or not. I'm curious why like Dofi thinks he would be so interested in this that he would come and get it. Because we also know that you can't have two devil fruits at once or you explode.
So they say.
Unless you're Blackbeard.
Yeah.
That's true, Blackbeard though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. But isn't Blackbeard's ability like being able to absorb things, including devil fruit abilities?
Well, we didn't get a concrete explanation. Someone was like, yeah, his body's kind of weird.
Yeah,
But like
Marco
they
said
didn't
it. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, but they didn't give us any specifics at all.
This is true.
Yeah, there's no confirmed explanation as to how Blackbeard was able to have two devil fruits.
Yeah. Because with what Marco said, that really was him just theorizing too.
Yeah.
So we have
Interesting. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we don't know how Doflamingo obtained this fruit. And if it is like legit, like where did he get it?
Right.
Because somebody else had this fruit before.
Oh, I want to know.
If anyone
Quick,
would
let's end
have
the podcast so I can go read. No, this is exciting.
Sorry, Cody, you had something?
I was just gonna say, if anyone would have the underworld connections to get whatever Logia they wanted, it would probably be Doflamingo.
Yeah.
And we've gotten, there was that one scene with Smiley that I think can give us some ideas to how this came about, but nothing set in stone, nothing mentioned by Oda. So things are still pretty fluid.
It is wild how far we are in the series now and like how little we actually know about Devil Fruit.
Yeah.
Because like
For real.
what if there's like theorizing, what if there's like an all blue of Devil Fruit, like a place where
Like they all come
are
from?
multiples or where they all come from, right? Where
Like a
maybe
garden.
they're not unique. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also just in general, there's a lot of different plot points, concepts, things have been introduced in the story, even early on, that we don't know the answers to. So you said like, oh, we're so far into we're 700 chapters into the story. We still don't know what the One Piece is. We don't know what the voice entry is. We don't know what the Will of D is. We don't know like how like devil fruits like actually work. Like
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of mysteries that we don't have answers to.
Keeps you reading.
Mhm.
Keeps you on the hook.
Yep.
I'm loving it.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean that's where we end the volume. Yeah, at the very end, the strats make it to Dressrosa, but it's a page. But yeah, there's been some exciting developments here. Before we get into our rankings, did you guys have any final thoughts for the chapter or the volume as a whole?
I mean, this particular half of the volume was incredibly action packed. Like I feel like the lore was pushed in all directions in a very exciting and fresh way where I'm like rejuvenated and like really hyped to like keep reading. I'm just like I'm so in it now. I feel like a lot of these really big characters that have been around for so long are super relevant. We're getting cool alliances. Things seem to be building towards something like world changingly big.
Yeah,
So I'm like really excited with the latest developments in the plot.
definitely.
Yeah.
For me, it's exactly what I like about these between our chapters. Is we get immediate ramifications of what just happened. We see the outside world expand and transform, and so much hype is built into what's going on. And I think that just in like the last 2-ish chapters, there is going to be so much going on in this next arc, and we are just about to hit shore. We haven't even gotten there. We haven't even explored the world of Dressrosa in this place yet, but we already know there's going to be so much happening.
The stage is being set.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, so very, very crazy developments. A lot going on, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of characters involved here. Like you guys are saying, like between arcs is when we get a lot of this, the world information. Like we'll catch up on like what else is going on in the world, and then we've kind of left that little bubble. It kind of gives Oda that like breathing room to give us updates and that is when we get a lot of this like very exciting world building, lore type stuff. Yeah, and just wrapping up Punk Hazard. This gives us a nice little bow, a little happy ending for what seemed like it was gonna be more devastating, but we do have good news for a lot of the people who are actually involved with that. So things are looking a little bit brighter than they were before. But yeah, now we're going into a brand new arc, which I'm very excited to see how you guys react to it. I don't want to say too much because I want you guys to just develop your own opinions and organically as we go through. I just want to know how you guys are reacting to things and your opinions. But your experience reading it is going to be very different from reading it week to week. And I think that's going to also be a big factor as to maybe how you feel about the arc. So I think it's going to be very interesting for a first time reader to get their opinions on an arc like this coming up.
Can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that is going to be for the future. So for now, let's wrap up with the arc rankings. Evan, do you want to walk us through your current rankings?
Sure thing. All right. My current rankings are in S tier: Marineford, Alabasta, Arlong Park, Baratier, Skypiea, Water 7. And then in A tier, I have Impel Down, Ennis Lobby, Thriller Bark, Drum Island, Saboti, Fishman Island, Amazon Lily, Little Garden, Logtown, Jaya, Romance Dawn, Syrup Village. And then in B, I got Post War, Long Ring Longland, Whiskey Peak, Reverse Mountain, Orangetown. My A tier is getting out of control, but I think I'm going to add another arc to it. This is going like, so just to be clear, everything we read in this last volume counts towards this. Like 699, 670, like all really that counts in, because that does change, I think, where I put it.
I think probably the place to cut off Punk Hazard is, I would say probably 699 is probably the end of Punk Hazard.
I think that makes sense.
So Doflamingo arriving is all part of that?
I would say so. I mean, the strats have left Punk Hazard, but like there's still events happening on Punk Hazard. So that hasn't really finished up the story. So that's still part of, I think, that story being told. Whereas I feel like 700 is where it's like kind of the starting point for Dressrosa.
Okay.
I agree.
And wait, was the 700 that we got? When did we get the newspaper?
That was the end of 699.
All right. So with that in mind, I will rank it higher than if that were not the case. I think I'm going to put it like near the top of A. I'm honestly debating whether it goes in front of Impel Down and Ennis Lobby or behind it. Impel Down and Ennis Lobby are so cool because it was like a dungeon where it was like they were like traveling down through this like really cool dungeon. But I think lore wise, this arc got me super hyped, like more so than a lot of other arcs. Like we just got so much information, all this talk with like the black market and Doflamingo and the Emperor. Like there was like so many great lore introduced. I think I'm gonna put it top of A.
So in front of Impel Down?
I don't know. Impel Down was so
Impel
good
Down?
too, though. Yeah, I think top of A, which is, I don't know, because I think Caesar was a good villain, but he was also kind of a pushover villain. And I feel like the real villain was the Admiral.
Oh, Virgo?
Yeah, Virgo.
The Vice Admiral?
Like, the Vice Admiral was like that. Like he was like the true villain, I feel like, of the arc. Or like not the non-pushover villain. Like Caesar was such a pushover where like kind of in the same way that our last villain from Fishman Island, Hody. Like I feel like he was like a very much like reminded me of Hody in a way where it was like this guy's just like a one punch KO every time, but he persists and he keeps the plot going and he serves a point to telling the story. But as like a villain himself, like
yeah, we'll go into the villain rankings as well. So if that is no, that's right. If that's like a bigger like influence on your decision for the arc, we can go into some detail. But if you wanted to get more to the discussion of like Caesar as a villain, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I'll save it. Save it. You're right.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's top of A. I think it's like cool seeing the Straw Hats post the time skip. So yeah, I'm pretty high up on this one.
All right, cool. So you're confirming it as top of A?
Yeah, we'll leave it top of A for now.
All right,
Before I rearrange my massive A slot, which is just like loaded.
All right, thank you. Cody, you want to give us your current rankings?
Okay, so currently in S tier, I have Water 7, Marineford, Baradier, Arlong Park, Ennie's Lobby, and Alabasta. Then in A, mine's also getting a little crazy. I have Drum Island, Impel Down, Saba Odi, Post War, Thriller Bark, Jaya, Amazon Lily, Orangetown, Skypia, Romance Dawn, and Fishman Island. And then in B tier, I have Syrup Village, Reverse Mountain, Logtown, Longing Longland, Little Garden, and Whiskey Peak. And for Punk Hazard, I definitely enjoyed it so much more the second time around than the first time, partly because I think my reading experiences was more concentrated, more consistent. I think also there are a lot of things that hit me in a very different way now than I did in like 2012, 2013. Part of that is Caesar. Part of that is, I think, just like the implications of just how despicable what he did was, which I think is feeds into the arc just as much as it does into Caesar himself. Also, still a Lost Stan. Always been a Lost Stan. Always going to be a Lost Stan.
Yeah.
But I do need to separate my feelings for Law from my feelings for Punk Hazard as an arc entirely. And overall, I think that Punk Hazard is really good. Oda manages to do so much with the duality of the setting, of characters' attitudes, of the themes of loyalty and devotion. I think that aesthetically it's really cool. I think that this new presentation of science as a theme and this world building we just talked about, particularly in like the late 600s, but also just as far as what everyone was saying with the black mark and everything, I think does add a new dimension to it. So I'm putting it in A tier for sure. But when I look at my very large A tier, I do feel like, and I'm not moving anything into C tier, and that's something I'm going to say. I do feel like my A tier has two sections, and I feel
A1,
like
A2.
A1, yeah, A and A.5. There's A and A minus, you know. And I feel like Jaya and Amazon Lily is like the breaking point there, where I feel like Jaya end up there's something that's just so it's I don't know I don't know how I look like and be about it, but it just feels so whole and it feels so put together. And Punk Hazard, there are parts of it where I'm like, I'm not sure. Part of it still feels like Oda's finding his footing in the second half of the story. It's still really good and it's mostly there, but it just doesn't quite give me that, oh, it's locked in feeling of like those top A arcs. So I can't quite put it with them, but I think I can put it right below Jaya. It's like it's just short of Jaya for me, which is still really, 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 really good. Yeah, it's just not A plus tier for me.
Okay.
So with Punk Hazard, it would be S tier, Water 7, Marineford, Baradier, Arlong Park, Ennie's Lobby, Alabasta. A tier, Drum Island, Impel Down, Saba Odi, Post War, Thriller Bark, Jaya, Punk Hazard, Amazon Lily, Orangetown, Skypia, Romance Dawn, Fishman Island. And then B tier, Syrup Village, Reverse Mountain, Logtown, Longing Longland, Little Garden, Whiskey Peak.
Okay, awesome. All right. So I'm going to go through my current rankings. So I have an S tier, Rainford, Alabasta, Ennie's Lobby, Arlong Park, Water 7, Saba Odi, Jaya. A tier, Throwbark, Drum Island, Impel Down, Fishman Island, Skypia. B tier, Long Ring Longland, Baratier, Little Garden, Syrup Village, Logtown. C tier, Post War, Amazon Lily, Orangetown, Romance Dawn, Whiskey Peak, Reverse Mountain. So
Damn,
I
look at
feel
those rankings. They're beautiful. Like that is just like a nicely balanced, yeah, that's score. I need to work on mine.
Balance is overrated. We're perfect the way we are.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm in a similar place as you guys, where Punk Hazard, I really enjoy this arc. I think Caesar as a villain is he's such an evil person that I think it really strengthens him as a villain and being an antagonist to the entire arc. And he's really the one behind a lot of the terrible things that are happening in Punk Hazard. and I like a lot of the elements that are introduced here, and the whole like Vegapunk connection to Caesar, I think is very interesting, and how Caesar's kind of like trying to prove himself in Vegapunk's shadow. So I like that there's a lot of ego involved with Caesar, and that drives a lot of what he's doing here. There's just a lot of like very exciting parts that are here. The alliance with Law and Luffy, the idea of going after one of the emperors, that's like a big move. Um, Punk Hazard is also our full kind of like introduction to the new world. So this kind of gets us back up to speed on what else is going on in the world. So there's a lot of that going on. The stuff with Smoker being involved, kind of catching up with him. Smoker and Tashigi, G5, a lot of great stuff there. The plot with the children is devastating and heartbreaking, and Chopper's story with that in particular, and Nami, is that always gets me. I think that's one of the parts I resonate with most of Punk Hazard. I just think that works really well for me. Yeah, so there's just a lot of cool things going on. I like the whole idea of like the island split with the ice and fire. I feel like the fire side was a little underutilized though. It was kind of like dropped pretty quickly, which I think is something I would have liked to have more with. But the ice side is where a lot of like the key pieces are happening. But yeah, like what we talked about today, a lot of like the cool things to like wrap up Punk Hazard was like just like hit after hit after hit. With all that being said, I would put Punk Hazard in A tier. I actually put it at the top above Throw a Bark for me. So right now it's actually my top of A.
Okay.
All right.
So with my updated rankings, just real quick. So S tier was Marineford, Alabasta, Saints Lobby, Ong Park, Water 7, Sabodi, Jaya. A tier is now Punk Hazard, Throw a Bark, Drum Island, Impel Down, Fishman Island, Skypea. B tier, Long Ring, Longland, Barate, Little Garden, Silver Village, Logtown. C tier, Post War, Amazon, The Lily, Orange Town, Romance Dawn, Whiskey Peak, Reverse Mountain. Okay, now we have our villain rankings, which we do as a group, where we currently have in S tier Crocodile Arlong. A tier was Gecko Moria, Eneru, Buggy, Lucci, Magellan. B tier was Kuro, Foxy, Wapple, Krieg. C tier was Hody. Evan, where would you put Caesar?
Ooh. I realized I compared him to Hody just now, and I don't think that I would rank him the same as Hody, just
Okay.
because like Hody's like purely selfish, and like Caesar is just like is like purely evil. Like he just is a two-faced, lying, deceptive. Like I feel like he has no regard for human life. He treats the people under him like dirt. He's creating weapons of mass destruction for his own profit. He's trying to piggyback off of Vegapunk's brilliance to, make a name for himself and give himself a sense of worth. And yeah, he's just like truly despicable and evil. And so it's like, but as a fighter, like his actual strength, like all of his strength is in his mind and ability to create weapons of mass destruction and manipulate people, and not go toe to toe with Luffy or really anybody that he fought. So I think I would put him. I don't think he's S tier, but I think he's maybe top of A tier.
Okay, so above Gecko Moria.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. There's so many factors, right? There's like fighting power, evil, like how evil are they, and then there's like character design. Like Gecko Moria's character design is like one of my favorites. Like just such a cool villain. Like with the like manipulating shadows and cutting people. Like that was just such a cool character design. So it's hard to gauge him, but I think he's like probably top of A for me. So yeah, I guess above Gecko.
Okay. Cody,
This
how
is
about
tough.
No, this really, really, really is tough. I'm probably one of the people who care the least about combat strength in a villain, because like for me, I still maintain I think Spannum should be here, and I think Spannum should be an S personally. But and that guy's weak as shit. But the thing for me with Caesar is that one, he does have such an interesting fighting style. I think one of the things I would have loved to see was more weird shit with Caesar's fighting. I was fine with how much it was. I just would have been even happier with even more. But that's not even what I find interesting about him. But his design's amazing, and the fact that, as we've talked about, he is so realistic a villain. And he's gotten more realistic as time has come on. It's just he is just like, oh, what if we take like this one like terrible thing about people and their own weaknesses and just amp it up to 11?
Yeah.
Right, and make it fit so perfectly in this world. And so I agree, Caesar A tier. And I before I knew how much you guys are feeling Punk Hazard, I'm surprised I'm the one who put Punk Hazard lowest, first of all.
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect that at all. And I thought I'd have to fight for Caesar to be like in A tier, but I completely agree. A tier for Caesar. Where is tough. I got over my bias, definitely above Lucci. Yep, I'm fine with that. Buggy's becoming less and less of a villain and more just a lovable asshole for me. So above Buggy too. Above Enel as well, because again, I think there for what I look for in a villain, like yes, Enel is despicable, but there's something so human about Caesar, and I love villains who are that human. It's where Caesar's compared to Moria that's really, really hard for me. That's why I'm just like, I don't know. And it's now we're getting a little ways away from Thriller Bark. And now I'm like, how much of this is recency bias, you know?
Yeah. That's where it can get tough.
That's so true.
Yeah. But I don't think I said I expressed hatred of Moria as much as I did of Caesar. Moria, I'm just like, God, this guy's existence is fucking sad. But Caesar, I'm like, you are despicable. And neither one of them necessarily makes them a better or worse villain. But as far as what I just respond to emotionally, I think that's going to make Caesar go just above Moria. But I could be swayed on either side of it. But if I had to, but gun to my head, if I had to
okay,
pick,
I think I can sway you.
Abducting, experimenting on children is the most one of the most
it's so fucked up.
We've
it's
seen.
So fucked up.
Period.
So
from
fucked
any
up.
of these villains,
the despicableness, which is what I respond to. That's why I'm like, I'll put him right at the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of things you guys mentioned, I completely agree. So yeah, I think Caesar hits very different in 2025 than he did in 2013, like Cody's been saying.
For sure.
And Punk Hazard in general, like, I don't want to get too political on the podcast, but I think One Piece is inherently a political series. There's very heavy political themes and topics that come up in the series. It's unavoidable, and I think that is one thing that is great about One Piece. But there are a lot of parallels that I can now relate to in a real world setting. That like if you like in 2013, it probably would have seemed far fetched to me. I would have had a hard time believing this as being like realistic. Reading this 2025, it's so realistic, it's scary. So it's very real, and that I think really adds to making Caesar, I think, a stronger villain in general. But seeing the way he manipulates people, like the way his mind works, how he's very narcissistic, everything's about his ego. He's very willing to throw anybody aside if it's to save himself. There's nobody more important than him. He's willing to tell the people that are following him and trust him. He will tell them anything if it means to get his way, and he doesn't have any hesitation about lying to people or deliberately misleading them. And he's not above, like abusing children. He's trying to experiment on them, and he doesn't care if they die. So yeah, there's just like so much about Caesar that makes him such a terrible person and makes him such a great villain. But he's also very entertaining. And his power set is, I think, also very interesting. And his design, I think, is actually a really great design. I think he's a great character. I love him as a character. I think he he fits like very well into this One Piece universe. And I'm exactly where you guys are. I'm actually going to put him A tier above Gecko.
Wow, we're all in
All
agreement.
right, gang.
Yeah.
For the first
All
time,
right, y'all. Let's go.
Even our arc rankings, we're aligning.
Yeah. We're all in similar
We're
places.
reaching
but,
singularity.
Yeah, but
Piece
before
singularity.
you guys had said anything, I was already planning on voting for Caesar A tier above Gecko. So
Cool.
yeah,
Easy,
so
What a
easy,
happy,
easy.
what a
that'll be
happy
it.
surprise.
So our new rankings, we have Crocodile S tier with Arlong. A tier is now Caesar Clown, Gecko Moria, Enaru, Buggy, Lucci, Magellan. B tier is Kuro, Foxy, Wapple, Krieg. C tier is Hody Jones. All
No
right.
Marines yet.
No, Marines are good guys. They can't be villains.
Right. What am I saying?
Yeah.
All right. But on that note, that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We're Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on our YouTube channel at We're Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we have recorded the podcast, so if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at we'readingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be starting Volume 71, Coliseum of Scoundrels. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan.
Thanks for listening.
And Cody.
All right, I'll admit it. If you insist, I am Cody.
All right, well, be sure to bring along all your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.